yet another live, this time on a hot topic on how to actually become a product manager. I have Ross here from Product Management Advisor with me. And before we formally begin, let's do a little bit maybe small talk icebreakers to let people join. It's only 30 seconds. So, Ross, tell me, where are you now and what's the weather like?
We have a cloudy day. I'm in the New York City area. Born and bred, traveled around a bit, worked my way around the United States during my career, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been back in the New York area for the past 10 years and great place for hamburgers.
Oh, I've been there with my wife 2 years ago before our son was born, and I loved Five Guys, was it? I think so, yeah.
I know
It
you
was
mentioned it. That's why I said hamburgers. I know you.
ah, those, those were amazing, and those it wasn't cheap though, but those like almost excessive fries. Oh my God! Every time think about hamburgers, I go back to Five Guys in my head. But
Yeah.
generally, like I was pretty happy with how things tasted in New York in terms of food and everything else. Actually, fortunately, this is not the UK with their terrible food. Sorry, great British people on the stream.
Yeah, nothing's cheap in New York, but you can get a very diversified, different foods. Um,
Hmm.
so you're never at a loss, or you're never bored having a meal. There's always new adventures.
So, mhm. Okay, we have 15 people already, so I think let's not risk boredom while we talk about food, and let's talk about why people came here. And people came here to hopefully listen to us and make help us help them become product managers. So let's um, let's start. Ross, what do you think about the current job market? Let's do like a bit of intro because uh, some positions are easier to break in. Product management wasn't ever one of them. But in your opinion, how does 2025 treat future product managers?
So I think we should continue to see a strong demand for skilled product managers this year, especially in the industries where we're seeing that are focused on digital transformation in areas like AI, software as a service, financial products, and even enterprise solutions. Um, Companies are looking for PMs who can adapt quickly and can understand and leverage AI. So I think that you know that would be the focus in this year. That said, the challenge lies in differentiation between, meaning how you stand out. How do you convince the hiring manager that you are the perfect person for this role? More professionals are trying to break in than ever before, I believe, and companies are being more selective. So, do you understand the fundamentals of product management? Do you have the capability to think strategically? Do you have a customer first mindset? So, if you're breaking in this year, the key is to demonstrate the value you bring right now, and not that you could grow into the position. I think the competition is so tight. Um, you have to go in with those skill sets and show that you can actually do the job. I think that's going to be important for this year.
Yeah, like the everlasting product management paradox that you need experience to get the job, uh, and you can't get experience without the job. But we'll talk about that later.
Talk about that, yeah.
On my end, I think I need to add that, uh, truth be told, the jobs are there, especially in the US. though I still think that the competition is much greater than it was before the pandemic. I think Europe is still in this area where only the best of the bestest can land the job, and things are changing in India for the better. Though I'm not sure what's the scope there, because I'm on one hand I can see a lot of people mm, showing that they got new jobs, and I see adverts, but at the same time there are many more people the job market total, and I'm also hearing a lot of about scams in India that just try to get money or data from you. So hard to say. It's
Mm.
still a challenging market, and maybe 2025 isn't the greatest to break into PM, but I think it's not as bad as it was last year or 2 years ago overall.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's plenty of jobs. The competition is fierce.
Mhm. So let's do you think that maybe let's start with like clearing some misconceptions about product management and breaking into it. What's your favorite misconception to break?
I think the biggest misconception I hear all the time is uh, that you need a formal degree in product management, or you need, X number of certifications under your belt. And I don't believe that's true. While some companies value certifications, I believe that PM hiring is still largely about experience, and it's about mindset, and it's about proving your problem solving ability. Another misconception uh, is that PMs are idea people, but in reality, I believe great product managers are problem solvers, and they're customer advocates, and they're decision makers. They're not just thinking up products, they work cross functionally, and they deliver real business impact. And maybe one last misconception, perhaps, and I'm not sure if this is a real misconception, but if you are looking to break into product management, but you're only submitting resumes, good luck. Like I was saying earlier, because the truth is most successful transitions happen through networking, side projects, and demonstrating um, you have certain qualities, capabilities in your current role. Um, in 2025, I think it's that you have to show and not just tell hiring managers what you can do. I go back a longer way than you, Bart. Um, but I didn't study product management. I came in through the technical ranks. I was an engineering person. I transitioned into IT management, ultimately product management, and it was my customer centricity. It was my problem solving skills that really propelled me into product management, where I had a mentor who saw that I possess skills, and I believe that's true coming into 2025. Is that you have to um, showcase your abilities, showcase that you have some tangible skills that really requires you to be a successful product manager.
Yeah, I think I the only thing I can add, of course, the certificates are my favorite thing, so I will just add on top of it that I love when people think that MBA is something that will help to break into product management. I know it did work in India from time to time, but I don't know. I think that master business administration is still something for CEOs, higher level managers, and it's a waste of money to use that as a break into product management, even if it works, given the uh, price point on that part of it, that thought of education.
You know,
So, before I, since we are still in the intro phase, I'd love to hear your take on how the ever becoming, ever developing AI changed how people become product managers and how the recruitment processes work.
Uh, so I think, well, first, data-driven decision making. I think it's become non-negotiable. Companies expect PMs to not only interpret data, but to leverage the AI tools to generate insights and to predict user behavior and optimize product performance. I think, secondly, automation is shifting the way PMs work. Tasks that used to take hours, like customer segmentation, A/B testing analysis, backlog prioritization, can be done in minutes, right, with AI-powered tools. So this means PMs need to focus more on strategic thinking, understanding the why behind the decisions, and shaping product vision rather than just managing execution. Because anybody can do that if they have an understanding of AI. For new PMs, the focus should be on adaptability. So learn how to use AI to enhance your workflow. Um, but remember, AI is the tool, not a replacement. And I believe the best PMs will know how to combine the AI-driven insights with the human intuition and customer empathy that you need to be a good product manager that AI won't ever possess.
I can also think that, but it's not for PMs only, but generally with the AI tools, you are able to become a very good candidate for more job applications. Because if you were serious about what you do, you would have to do lots of prep work to understand the company, the product, the competitors, business model. That there's lots of things you can bring to the table to show that you've done your homework when coming to a job interview. But if you get too many invites, then you simply don't have time to do that research. But with ChatGPT and other tools, you can basically craft yourself one single prompt to tell you all you need about a certain company and just prompt it on your way to the job interview in the bus, so you are fresh with this knowledge. Which so uh, it's easier not to appear lazy, I would say. Maybe like this. Hope you agree with me.
Yeah, no, I do.
Hmm.
I think that there's a balance. It's AI is nothing but a tool, and I think good professionals, regardless what field you're in, whether it's product manager or you're an electrician or you're a plumber or a carpenter, using the right tool for the right application is key. And you don't do more with it or less with it. You use it for its intent and how it benefits the you getting to the end result or reaching the objective, and then you leave it. You leave it alone. You put it down. And I think product managers have to do the same thing with AI.
Hmm. So that sort of leads me to my next question, that you sort of like already touched on. But do you believe that aspiring PMs should aim more to become generalist, or choose a specialty and aim to that, like AI product manager, data product manager? Um, what do you think?
So I don't think there's no one size fits all answer. I feel like the market is definitely shifting towards specialization.
Hmm.
Uh, I think years ago, like when I broke in, it was you know generalist did very well. They moved from one industry to another, one product to another. But today, I think we're shifting towards specialization, especially larger organizations. They're increasingly looking for specialists. And I think it's important then that the product manager or aspiring product manager understands, what lane they should be in. So if you're passionate about AI or data or growth, specializing can be a great way to differentiate yourself, especially when you're looking for a new role. You kind of know where to look, you know what your strengths are, and you have you're positioning yourself to be seen. AI PMs, for example, they work on integrating learning into products, um, while growth PMs focus on acquisition and retention. Um, Data PMs, on the other hand, leverage deep analytics, right, to guide their products. Um, I think even if you're a generalist, though, having a specialized skill set, um, such as experience with an AI-driven product, uh, and understand the growth loops of that, or expertise in data visualization, can give you a competitive edge. Um, and I like to think of it as uh, the, the T-shaped skill set, where, and I think the T-shaped skill set is really coming into play for this year, where that top bar of the T, the horizontal bar, uh, represents your broad range of knowledge, um, but your specialization is represented in that vertical line of the T, where you really where you would really benefit and position yourself for success if you have a depth of knowledge in one or two areas. Um, and that's the T-shaped skill set that I think is going to be important for PM success in 2025.
Yeah, I think that you're right. Not one size fits them all, and there will be cases where trying to become a specialist will be much harder than generalist. But at the same time, I think there are fields like AI or medicine where it's very good to have the subject matter knowledge on a very expert level and come into product management with that and teach yourself the job on the fly, so to say. I am now starting to coach a legal PM tomorrow who had developer experience, has many years in law, and who was hired based on that by a company. And they asked me to bring his PM skills to higher levels so he can quickly realize the role fully. But at the same time, it makes perfect sense. Becoming a PM is like in principles few weeks of studying really, and then adjusting what you've learned to the actual company style of the developers and what's happening around you. However, learning 20 years of legal expertise for a product management like me or you would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? So the, there are stories of specialists that become PM, and perhaps you, the watcher, are one of those specialists that can use and leverage their knowledge, their industry specialization to become a PM.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on, I guess. Um, what do you think is the most important skill to demonstrate as a aspiring candidate for becoming a PM?
Um, so I think more than ever is I think the most important skill, more than ever, is adaptability. Um, the pace of change in technology, especially with AI and automation, means that companies are looking for product managers who can learn quickly, they can pivot effectively, they can drive results in uncertain environments. I think beyond that, data fluency is becoming a must-have rather than a nice-to-have. PMs don't need to be data scientists, but they must know how to extract insights, interpret analytics, and make data-informed decisions. Um, and lastly, I'll say strong communication and leadership. Um, you know, like you were saying earlier, you're taking on a new PM in the legal area. Um, that's a specific knowledge and area of expertise that not all PMs need. But I think to be a strong PM, um, regardless of what vertical you're in, you need strong communication, strong leadership skills remain as crucial as ever. And the great PM is a bridge between teams aligning with engineering, design, marketing, stakeholders um, toward a shared vision. So, without those skills, that's going to be very difficult to accomplish. So, PMs who can articulate a clear strategy, who can manage expectations and inspire teams, will always stand out to recruiters and hiring managers.
I can agree with all of that, and I think on top of that, I would demonstrate a clear like product, not project focus. Perhaps being able to show how you understand how business works and how customer centricity is important and how those not always are aligned, but the best PMs will be able to find those changes in the product that will help him or her achieve those business goals while also improving the user experience or the value to the user. So
Hmm.
it's not greed management, so to say, but a real value management across the board.
I agree.
And while we both made fun of certificates just a few minutes ago, do you think there's any such document that actually helps PMs to break into role, like a single exception?
Certification.
Hmm.
I mean, I think having education. It all depends on where your area of interest is, because so many could be important and valuable and help propel you to the next level. So it depends. Do you want to be a Scrum product owner, or do you want to focus on Agile? So I think the certifications. Uh, the one thing I'll say is you never stop learning as a product manager. So I think the certifications help because um, they keep you in a learning mode, and they continue to give you knowledge, and they continue to help you think. Um, so I'm not going to say there's one that's more important than the other because, and maybe you feel differently. Maybe there is one that you have in mind, but for me, it depends on the individual, what uh, sector they're in. But I think they should pursue education and certification because it helps them grow eventually.
This is what I also tell my students and mentees, that while you shouldn't believe in the magical power of certificate paper, the road to that certificate is the most important thing for you. And it's not something to dangle in front of the recruiter, but it's something to actually learn from and take advantage of the classes with other aspiring PMs, have an experienced PM to verify your work, do your exercises, help you learn that product sense. I
I,
do have one exception in terms of papers that might have slight magical power, and that would be the professional Scrum product owner one, which I think that for those PMs who never worked in Agile Scrum is the next best thing to having an actual experience, that you at least understand that you have a real industry certificate, not like a paper given by a private institution.
Hmm.
And but again, it's not. It won't make a drastic change. It will be that like 2-3% that you might be missing in some cases. So it's a small luck charm at best if we when it comes to magical powers of paper.
I think the papers could have dual benefit because on your side, on the PM side, they keep you learning something that could benefit
Mhm.
you in your role. Um, but from the hiring manager's perspective, I think it shows them that you know you're you're interested, maybe you're passionate, um, and I think it it sets a good I don't know, gives you puts you in a good light with a hiring manager that this person, he's interested, he's continuing to learn, he's continuing to educate himself and grow, and I think that's always a good thing.
Awesome. Before we move on, how about we take a few questions from the chat? So it's a more interactive session. And Alex here is asking, how do you evaluate adaptability during an interview? Not sure if Alex is asking from a recruiter point of view or how a recruiter will ask the candidate to show his adaptability. Ross, you want to take this one or you want to leave it with me?
How a candidate shows adaptability. So I think is that the question part?
Yes.
I'll take a stab at it first. I think the candidate, has to showcase their ability through a real life example of what they did, right? So um, and I think being a successful product manager, you have to be a good storyteller. So if a hiring manager is asking you about um, your adaptability, I think it would be a good time to reflect back on a time when um, you could showcase a scenario, right? So what happened, what you did, how you adapted, and the results of that effort. Um, so I think it's given the real life example or use case um, of the event is one way to do it.
Okay, thank you. The next one comes from Manifest. So hope I didn't butcher that name too much. And she's asking, how can I find companies that hire foreigners? I'm Brazilian, but I really want to work for companies abroad. Let me take this. And realistically, if you want to work abroad, you have to be abroad and have all the um, permissions to work in another country. The reason for that is, for one thing, companies are not that eager to have remote workers as they used to. But even if they did, there are legal and tax reasons why hiring a foreigner remotely from their country is a nightmare, and companies would rather avoid that. A workaround from that is to work for very small startups that would be on sites like Fiverr or other such companies, but that's gig work, not work. Or have your own company that you then work B2B with another company abroad. But I never saw an offer that would be interested in having a B2B worker remotely, and especially from big companies like Microsoft, Google. So unfortunately, you have to get out of your comfort zone to pursue your dreams and go to the country you want to work in and try your best. I would love to give a different answer, but that's the real one. Unless Ross, you have any other tricks to achieve that?
No, I agree with you. Um, I've never pursued a position in a different country, but I heard the same thing. You have to be there. Companies would be very reluctant to hire you, um, without having you in country first.
Mhm. So there's one question that I will use as a segue to our next section. Um, but before that, I want to just give a quick shout out to my patron company called Alconost, who do manual translations. I don't think we have any potential clients for Alconost on this stream, but still, those guys are awesome. Check out their site for entertaining memes and great views about translations. And perhaps you will be one day a product manager of an international product that will know best on how to manage that. So, to the next section with question from wait, not would it be easy? Oh, I lost my track. Okay, let's just jump into the section. Sorry. So then that's more like typical video about breaking into product management, but for due diligence, what would you say are the common entry points to become a PM?
Um, so I think there's a few common entry points. Um, I would say internal transfer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's that's how I got into product manager. I mentioned earlier. I think I was an engineer. Um, I I transferred into with the company I was with. I transferred into a product management role. I think having startup experience um, is good background to have. Uh, hiring managers. Um, you know, uh, with startup experience, if you're a founder or you're a member of a small business, you wear a lot of hats. You wear a lot of hats. You have to think quickly on your feet. Um, you, you're multitasking, doing a lot of different things in a startup with a startup experience. I think that's a good background to have. You mentioned MBA programs. I think that's one track, but I don't think it's a big one. And I think side projects. So building a product or launching a side hustle can showcase real world PM skills that would put you in a good light. But no matter what the path, I think the key is demonstrating uh, ownership, problem solving, and customer empathy. I think if you know, talking about that T skill, the horizontal bar, having those types of skills should at least get you in the conversation. Um, so, what do you think? What do you think, Bart?
Completely agree, and I've seen a few people that managed to get their shot at PMing just by their companies or side projects, and I'll get to that later. Uh, I think I just need to add unlikely, but existing unicorn track, as I call it, where you simply apply to a scholar, to an internship or a junior product position right of the university, and whole and behold, you become a PM by the virtue of somehow convincing the hiring manager that you are the person who is the best to be invested from zero to PM hero. But again, I think that if that unicorn can show the startup experience, the side gig, the knowledge about history of products, how Facebook came to be such big, what differentiated Google, what have been the downfall of many other products. Those stories used in job interviews can really make a difference to show that you are really passionate about PMing. But that's like technique that I like to share as one of the unique things you can do to become better. But speaking of chances, say that we want to take the long way around, the what I call the realistic way of an internal transfer. Then that is, by the way, the most reliable way to become a PM, to have a manager that supports you, that you have a career track, that there are people in management and HR that know your goal and will support you or won't support you, and you need to change companies regardless. Uh, if we are aiming to internal transfer, let transfer from where? What's the, in your opinion, best position that you can realistically have an entry level position and then work your way up from there?
So I think if when you're working with a cross-functional product team, you have people from representing different aspects of the business. You have sales, marketing, developers, designers, customer service. So I think any of those roles that, if you're in a role like that where you're participating on a product development team and you'd like to kind of transition into that product manager role, I think you have a head start because you're watching a PM at work. You're understanding, what skill sets, are needed to do the job. So I think there's multiple roles. I don't think one role is, closer to a PM than another. But I think regardless of what role you're in, I think what you need to do is highlight, while in your current role, highlight the PM related skill sets, and perform them. So if you're an engineer, highlight problem solving skills. Showcase your collaboration skills with stakeholders and decision makers. If you're a marketer, emphasize data analysis and customer insights and go-to-market execution. So, emphasize the skills that you have in your current role, and communicate with the product manager or the product management team. If you don't know who the hiring managers are or the directors are, speak to the product manager that you're familiar with. Let them know what your desires are, and showcase. I think we mentioned it very early, Bart, that something that PMs need to do in 2025, and might have been the first question you posed, is I think 2025 is going to be a show me, not tell me. So I think with this question, you have to show the skills that successful product managers need to have in your current role. Let your intentions known, and what you're doing is you're showing that you have what it takes to be successful in that role. And I think that would be the way to think about that.
Awesome. Thank you. So that leads me to my next question. There is a stereotype that you need to have technical skills like coding, database management, data analysis to become a PM. How real is that in 2025, in your opinion?
So I think it helps, right? I came from engineering, so I had a technical background, but no, you don't need to be technical to land a PM job. but you need to be technical enough for the role that you're targeting. Um, for software as a service, AI, or developer tools, understanding APIs and data structures, and AI capabilities, can help. In consumer products and growth and operations focused PM roles, having strong business acumen, um, having a thought process to strategize, and understanding user experience skills would matter more. So I think the best approach is to learn enough to effectively collaborate with the engineers, because as a PM, you're you're sort of in the middle, right? You need to speak the language of the engineering team and the developers. You have to be able to articulate to them what the idea is, and you have to understand when they talk back to you what they're saying, and then you kind of have to translate that and transpose that to the stakeholders, who probably you have to assume they don't have any technical understanding. So you're going to have to kind of explain what's going on to the stakeholders or the executives in plain in English, right? Non-technical terms. So I think the short answer, to get back to your question, is no. You don't need to be technical, but I think you have to understand that some of the technical terminology, and on a high level, you have to understand it. But no deep or in-depth knowledge of technical knowledge is required to be a successful product manager.
Yeah, you need to be able to talk to your team really and understand what they're saying. You don't need to do their job for them. In
Yes,
fact, you shouldn't. So,
absolutely.
as we are heading to the final section of the live, I just want to ask you for in one sentence, what's the most unique path that you've heard someone breaking into PM?
Um, um, that's
In
a
that
good
case, maybe I can share that I know a person who managed to get a job as a PM, as a junior PM,
question.
based on the performance she did on her social media account, where she basically did all the product work there to increase the number of subscribers, to get more views on content, get sponsors, and she was able to present that as a product manager, and that was perfect and ideal to break in. And before we move to the final section, I really want to hear your take on what happens when you keep failing again and again. The road to become a product management is marathon, not a sprint. How to deal with rejection as an aspiring PM?
Well, I would say that you have to. Well, it's part of the process. As a product manager, you have ideas, you have concepts, but you're working for an organization that is looking at the bottom line. Um, so this is one area where I faced many times rejection, presenting a new idea to executive stakeholders, justifying why we need this, why the customer needs this in the product. Um, you know, and sometimes, other than for no other reason than money or budgetary, rejection is going to be part of the process, and not only for that reason, but for other reasons. Rejection is part of the process. It's not a reflection of your ability. Um, Product manager is one of the most competitive fields to break into. So I think it's keep at it. Resilience is key. Um, I would say if you get rejection, ask for feedback, adjust your approach, what, understand what you were missing, and then go back and fix it. Um, optimize the variables you can control. If it's updating your resume, prepping for your next interview, um, upgrading your LinkedIn presence, um, treating breaking into PM like a product launch, right? Iterate from one interview to the next and implement your feature improvements to yourself. Um, but understand
I
rejection is part of
mhm.
it, and you're not going to win every time, and you have to keep going.
I wouldn't say it better myself. Thank you. So just keep going, get that feedback from recruiters, and get better with every iteration of your mm, journey to becoming a PM. With every interview is sort of a project or sprint that you will get further or mm, not as far, but it will eventually get you to your goal, becoming a PM. And to that end, my guest here is also the proud owner of a great tool and resource that will help you with that. It's called Product Management Advisor, PMA. And Ross, tell us, what kind of support does PMA offer for PMs looking to grow their skill set?
So product management advisor, and one of the reasons, so I launched the beta version of Product Manager Advisor in December, and earlier this month we released the premier version. So we have a product management community that's up and running. Um, and, and and what we're about is empowering product management professionals to grow in their career, right? So um, it's about technical skills, it's about strategic thinking, it's about leadership, and it's about communication. So our platform provides a mix of real world insights, practical training, and interactive learning experience. Again, all positioned to help product management, whether you're aspiring to be a product manager or you're a seasoned product manager. We believe we have the resources to help you grow and find opportunity.
Awesome, thank you. And if you could also tell me, sorry, I was sharing your link in the chat and got lost a little. Um, what are the challenges that many face when breaking the product manager? What resources can make this process easier for people?
Yeah, breaking into product management can be overwhelming, especially without a clear roadmap. Um, that was another reason, that was another part of our concept of product management advisor, was to remove the guesswork and provide a structured path for product
Mhm.
managers. So, we offer a curated job board with thousands of relevant PM roles pulled directly from employer career sites. Right, so we're not pulling from Indeed. We're going right to the career sites of companies that have PM positions, and we're posting them on our job board. We have a resume optimization tool powered by AI to help you with your resume. We also offer a mentorship program, because sometimes guidance from someone who's been in your shoes makes all the difference. So instead of trying to piece everything together on your own, what we try to do is connect product managers with the right tools, the right people, the right connections, and strategies to break into the field, with confidence and the right skill sets.
Awesome. And we did say that regardless of certificates or no certificates, learning is really an important part of becoming a product manager. Where do you see the biggest gaps in education? How PMA can help fill them?
Yeah, so one big gap is that most PM education focuses on frameworks, but doesn't teach you how to navigate the reality of the job. So you can learn Agile, Scrum, but how do you actually apply them in a fast-paced environment? Um, I believe PMA bridges that gap for you by offering practical real-world training and not just theory. We're focused on soft skills development. So I talked a lot about communicating, leadership skills, problem-solving skills. How do I manage meetings? So we offer those soft skills, and we have free we offer free classes to some of those skill sets. We have real life case studies and playbooks to help PMs make better decisions, and you have access to a community where PMs can learn from each other, and that's really um, the engine under the hood here at PMA. Um, the platform is driven by our membership, and that's what we're aspiring toward. Um,
So,
and we have a. I'm sorry, Dr. Bart. We have a motto that says we learn better together, and I believe that's true.
awesome, awesome. And to that end, how that how does that work? How do you foster connections between product professionals?
Yeah. So no one succeeds alone. The best
Mhm.
PMs know they actively learn from their peers. They exchange ideas and they get feedback. So we have spaces in our community where we set up rooms that depending on your area of interest, or maybe you're having a specific challenge. If we don't have the space, we'll create it for you. We can start a conversation. We can continue a conversation. So our discussion spaces are where PMs can ask for advice, share insights, and problem solve together. I mentioned the mentorship program. It connects experienced PMs with those looking to grow, right? So you
Mhm.
can submit an application to join our mentorship program as a mentee or a mentor. Um, and we haven't had any yet because we're new, but we are going to be lining up live events, workshops, sessions, and such where members can interact with industry experts like yourself, Dr. Bart.
Well, I love being interacted with. So, in the spirit of our today's topic, um, what other than the job board and the CV optimizing tool, do you also have other tools that will help those who are actively looking for their first breaking point, or are there more?
Um, so we have a job board that's exclusively designed for PMs.
Mhm.
I mentioned thousands of curated listings. We have the resume and LinkedIn profile reviews to help members stand out to recruiters, in addition to the AI tool. And then we have early job alert features. So if you sign up um, to receive alerts, we can flag specific positions that you're looking for and let you know that they've become available.
And to be successful in an available position, you need to be, well, have your unique value proposition, your edge. How does PMA help to gain that competitive advantage?
Um, so I think it's not enough to say I'm a PM anymore. You need to demonstrate impact, adaptability, and thought leadership. So we give members a way to do that. We have So as a member, you have the ability to write and contribute to writing blog articles, right, which helps showcase your expertise, which you can link to LinkedIn, where future employers have that visibility. I think writing blogs or writing and it doesn't have to be a scary thing. It's about an experience. It's about a project you worked on. It's about a product you delivered. It's about a side hustle you were involved in. Um, but it showcases it showcases your thought leadership skills. Um, Engaging in the community discussions. Um, we're aggressively inviting recruiters and hiring managers um, to to lurk. So I so I think that would be a strong area to engage in, and then again, building a strong resume and building a personal brand with the help of our AI powered resume services. I think all those things will help PMs stand out, um, who actively share insights, engage with others, and continually try to upskill their capabilities.
Hmm. Awesome. Uh, so you've worked with countless PMs on different stages of their career. What's one thing you wish PMs took advantage of to accelerate their growth?
I think hands down, mentorship and peer learning.
Hmm.
So too many PMs try to figure it out alone. We learn better together. So the best way to accelerate your growth is by learning from those who've been through it. So we give you the mentorship opportunities. We give you the opportunity to have the peer discussions, um, and then in the future, we'll be conducting the live events and workshops where you can directly learn from uh, leaders in the industry like yourself. So I think if there's one thing I wish every PM would do, is to surround themselves with a strong network, and that's exactly what we're building at PMA.
Great. And is PMA only for aspiring PMs, or do you have anything that would help sitting PMs get better at their jobs?
Uh, it's it's not just for aspiring. It's not just for aspiring PMs. Um, PMA can benefit new PMs, seasoned PMs, because there's always new challenges. There's new technology. New goals to reach, new problems to solve, and that's what the community is for. So you find the right space, or you create a space. We'll start a conversation for you, and that's just ongoing learning, right? I don't think we never stop learning, no matter how seasoned or experienced you are. There's always new challenges to tackle.
Mhm. Very well said. Very, very inspiring. And into the inspiring segue. For someone hearing about PMA for the first time today, what's the one thing they should take away from this conversation?
That you don't have to navigate your career alone. PMA was built to empower product professionals at every stage. Whether you're
Mhm.
breaking in, like we said, or you're advancing or mastering your craft, we provide the tools, the training, the community to help you grow. So if you're serious about your PM career, or taking your PM career to the next level, we'd love to have you. Get involved with us, and you can check it out, see for yourself how valuable a strong support system can be.
Thank you. And as we are heading now to the end of the live stream, I wish I could answer a few questions from the chat. Unfortunately, I have to jump on a call with another mentee. And to maybe make a quick summary, you, as an aspiring product manager, and I believe that people that are on this stream, there were around 30 at the peak, and over 100 people wanted to join us, and hopefully they will watch us after this live will be archived. You are on a great journey of discovery, learning, and you have to give yourself time. You have to give yourself time to learn, to go to job interviews, to find people who will help you. That would be PMA, that would be me, and that would be lots of great PMs on LinkedIn. There's a lot of tools, people, and resources to go off, and don't get discouraged by a failure here or there. It's part of the journey. It's how Ross and myself had to go through to become who we are and be able to give you the advice we've given you today. So keep strong. We wish you good luck. PMA and myself are here to help if needed. And I hope to see you on another live in the near future. Until then, I promise to go through your questions in the chat later today or tomorrow. And thank you, Ross, for having us. For having us, I was the host. For joining us, for being my guest, for
Can I
telling
say
us.
one thing, Dr. Bart, before we go? Just 1 minute.
Yes, of course.
I
Yes,
would
of
like
course.
to, for those of you still on, and this will be on the recording, if you join Product Management Advisor community between now and August 31st, by the way, PMA is totally free to join always. You'll have access to the community and free training courses. All you have to do is send me a direct message on LinkedIn or from within the community, letting me know you saw me at this event with Dr. Bart, and I'll upgrade your membership to a lifetime pro membership, which is our top tier membership. It's completely free because you participated in this session with Dr. Bart and myself.
Mhm.
Pro members get exclusive features, including the mentorship program that I talked about as a mentee, the ability to write and publish blog articles, and a 10% discount across the board on all paid self-paced courses. So it's a great bargain. It's a great opportunity. I hope to see you on the community. And I want to thank you, Bart, for inviting me to have the conversation with you. I really appreciate it.
I really loved having you. Maybe you can do this again sometime, maybe to help talk about how to help PMs, sitting PMs become seniors and product leaders. I can use that last one. But until then, again, thank you for being here. I'm leaving the links to PDA and to Ross himself in the chat so that it will be one of the last messages in the recording. And again, thank you. It was awesome. And stay safe, keep learning. And until next time, bye bye.
Thank you.
So before I go, I need to find where I can put that link. Oh, there we go. So now it's finally over. Good night.